friends. Welcome back to another episode of Personalities. Today we are going to talk about Lala Lajpat Rai. As we know, it's his birthday. So before I start, I would like to request you to subscribe Vysh's channel if you haven't yet. Also subscribe Vysh courses and keep supporting this channel. Like these videos, share these videos as much as you can so that we come up with such new initiatives again. So, who was Lala Lajpat Rai? He was a great national leader who came to be known as the Lion of Punjab. He worked tirelessly to improve education, to promote unity, and to reform society. His clarion call and glorious life inspired the nation. The lathis of the servants of British imperialism cruelly cut his life short. The great patriot Lala Lajpat Rai was born on 28 January 1865 in Dudika village of Firozpur district of Punjab province. His father, Lala Radhakishan, was an Urdu teacher in a government school. He belonged to the family of Agrawals, a family noted for its love of freedom and self respect. Although illiterate, Lala Lajpat Rai's mother, Gulab Devi, was an ideal woman. It was from her that Lalaji imbibed patriotic sentiments. The 2 years that he spent in Lahore were important in his life, as he read the history of the past glory of India and biographies of its great son. He shed tears. The love of freedom and the keen desire to serve the country took root in him at that time. During those days, Arya Samaj, founded by Swami Dayanand Saraswati, was dynamic in social service. It was a time when enthusiastic Punjabi youths were attracted by the progressive ideals and reformist plans of the Arya Samaj. Lalaji was then hardly 16 when he joined the Arya Samaj in 1882. Having passed the examination in law in 1883, Lala could pass a practice as a mukhtiar or minor lawyer. He had also to bear the burden of running the family. 18-year-old Lalaji practiced in the revenue court of Jagrao town. After passing the pleader's examination, he came to Hisar in South Punjab and commenced practice as a lawyer to the political sphere. In 1888, still a lawyer, he entered politics. Realizing the dire need for freedom, Lalaji joined the Congress as a freedom fighter. The same year, in the Congress session at Allahabad, when Lalaji arrived with 80 delegates from Punjab, he received a tumultuous welcome. Lalaji was a young man of 23 years, but his fame spread quickly in Congress. In the small town of Hisar, proved inadequate for his growing social work. After qualifying to practice as an advocate in the Punjab High Court, he settled down in Lahore in 1892. The Congress session of 1893 was held at Lahore. The first Indian to become a member of the British Parliament, Dadabhai Naroji, was the president of the session. Lalaji served as an enthusiastic volunteer. Lalaji worked like a bee. He had no time for rest. Lalaji was not merely an outstanding politician but also an able writer. The biography he wrote in Urdu are memorable. He wrote the biographies of the patriots Mazzini and Garibaldi, who unified Italy. He also wrote outstanding books about Indian great men like Shivaji, Sri Krishna, and Dayanand Saraswati. The book on Mazzini and Shivaji contained passages which encouraged people to fight for freedom. So the government even thought of arresting Lalaji. He was immersed in Congress work when there was a split in the Arya Samaj. Lalaji gave a new shape to the DAV college. A terrible famine struck the central provinces in 1896. He saved 250 orphan children from Jabalpur, Bilaspur, and other districts, brought them to Punjab, and admitted to the orphanages of Arya Samaj. He realized that he did not have sufficient time for both social work and legal practice. So, in 1898, he reduced his legal practice. In 1899, a worse famine struck Punjab, Rajasthan, Kathiawar, and central provinces. Again, Lalaji led the movement by the Arya Samaj to save helpless children. Lalaji brought out Punjabi, and his friend Ajit Singh also brought a magazine called Bharat Mata. Government struck in May 1907 with a ban on political movements, and it caused the deportation of Lala Lajpat Rai and his friend Ajit Singh. In America, he made a number of speeches about India and the condition of life in this country. He wrote a number of books as part of the efforts to develop the Indian education. He established the Indian Home Rule in New York. He started a journal, Young India, and gave a push to the movement. He himself edited the paper. The paper expounded the Indian culture and explained in detail the necessity for Indian freedom. It attracted the attention of everybody. Through his paper, it became possible for not only Indians but also Americans and people of other countries to understand the aims and objects of Lalaji and to sympathize with India's aims. The movement thus gained support. Lalaji was considered one of the famous trinity of the Congress radicals. The three great men were Lala Lajpat Rai of Punjab, Bal Gangadhar Tilak of Maharashtra, and Bipin Chandrapal of Bengal. The country affectionately called them Lal Bal and Pal. There was a split between the radicals and moderates in the Congress organization. Lalaji found that it was not possible to bring about an agreement between the two factions. He therefore kept out of the Congress. The non cooperation movement. Lalaji brought a revolution in the attitudes of the people of England and America towards India. He returned in February 1920. Lala Lajpat Rai's organizing ability and heroic speeches were inspiring. Lalaji became a dangerous person in the eyes of British government. In December 1921, Lalaji was arrested. The other leaders of the movements like Motilal Nehru, Chitrandar Das were also arrested. Lalaji was sentenced to 18 months in rigorous imprisonment. Because of the people's protest and the pleadings by lawyers, he was released after 2 months. When he came to the door, he was arrested again. He was tried for another offense and was sentenced to rigorous imprisonment for 2 years. While in jail, he fell ill and his health deteriorated. When the public learned this vigorous agitation was started throughout the country for his release. The government released him. Lalaji went to Solan to improve his health. Simon Commission. The non cooperation movement failed. In 1927, the British government wanted a report on political reforms in India and on amending the Government of India Act. The commission consisted of Sir John Simon and six other members. All of them were members of the British Parliament. There was not a single Indian member. The people of India rose as one man against this step. Under Lalaji's leadership, it was resolved to boycott the Simon Commission. Lala Lajpat Rai moved a resolution in the Central Legislative Assembly in February 1928. He made an impassioned speech on that occasion. Lalaji appealed to the Indian members thus: the present constitution of the Commission and its terms of reference are unworthy of acceptance by this House. Therefore, this House advises the government that it should have nothing to do with the Commission. The 30th of October 1928 was an evil day in India's political history. The Simon Commission was expected to arrive in Lahore that day. Lalaji was ill. Still, he led the procession to protest against the commission. Thousands and thousands of hearts and voices shouted, "Simon, go back!" The Lion of Punjab, Lala Lajpat Rai, led the procession. The police charged with their lathis. The blood of innocent people began to flow. Lalaji's friends, Sukhdev, Yashpal, Bhagwati Charan, and others surrounded him in order to protect him. Police officer Scott saw Lalaji and his bodyguard. He ordered the police to beat the bodyguards. The police lathis rained blows on Lalaji on the head and all over the body. Terrible blows had battered the chest and the body. The humiliation inflicted by the high handedness of the British was more painful than the wounds. Lalaji Lalaji said, "The blows which fell on me today are the last nails driven into the coffin of British imperialism." On the morning of the 17th day after this, the great revolutionary died. Onward, along the path he had trodden, his followers marched towards freedom. After Lalaji's death on 17 November 1928, the whole of India knew that it was the result of the Lathi's blow, a deliberate murder by the police. The young revolutionary Bhagat Singh murdered the police officer Saunders, mainly responsible for the attack on Lalaji in a dreadful manner. Lala Lajpat Rai, the martyr, was a storehouse of many good qualities. Efficiency, tireless industry, and patriotism gave luster to his personality. His service in the field of journalism was no less valuable. He founded Urdu weekly Vande Mataram and the English weekly The People and maintained high standards in the field of commerce too. He will be remembered forever. It was Lalaji who established the Punjab National Bank and the Lakshmi Insurance Company. Begging or prayer cannot bring freedom. You can win it only through struggle and sacrifice. Mahatma Gandhi once said about him, so long as the sun shines in the Indian sky, persons like Lalaji will not die. And with this, I would like to thank you all to watch this video so far. Keep supporting us, keep liking these videos, sharing these videos. Thank you so much.